Hello, everybody. Live from Mexico City. Welcome to the Pinche Gringo Show. As always, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dan DeFasi. We have a great show for you tonight. I cannot believe who we have on the show today. I mean, we've had drag queens on the show. We've had friends that juggle, and our favorite, the Vampiro Canadiense. But tonight, I will be having a great conversation with former Secretary of the Economy in the Peña Nieto administration, Ildefonso Guajardo. And I have some really big questions to him, like harina or maíz. But I'll be completely honest, I was nervous this week. I didn't know we could top last week's show, where we joined by the U.S. Ambassador to Mexico, Christopher Landau, who not only has the name of a classic Hollywood actor, but also has the fashion sense of a classic Mexican singer, showing up wearing this jacket. I asked the 4 people who actually watched the show, a so-called friend, my aunt, my cleaning lady, and a cat named Fluffy, which they all said, "Good show, Dan, but I love that jacket. Meow." So we created this hashtag because we definitely think that that is the coolest ambassador jacket in the entire world. I mean, at least what we've seen. So my challenge to you is, if you have another ambassador and you think your ambassador has a cooler jacket, post it and use this hashtag ambassador jacket. There you go. But we start tonight with breaking news out of Washington. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled today that the Trump administration cannot immediately move to end an Obama administration executive order that allows children of undocumented immigrants to apply for temporary status, allowing them to work and not to be deported. The administration moved in 2017 to end this program, essentially affecting over 700,000 dreamers, many who are Mexican. And I'm sure people who are watching this show are affected. But just to be clear, the court didn't make a decision on the program. They were just basically saying that the administration needed to provide clear justification for why they should be ending it. In other words, hey, yo, Trump people, Supreme Court here. Why do you want to kill this thing? I don't get it. Work on it. Fix your argument and let me know. This delay will probably take longer than a few months after the election, with the likelihood that a Democratic administration will save the program. It's been a great week for liberals, including Monday's landmark 6-3 ruling prohibiting companies for firing people based on their sexual preference. All of this because of this guy. I don't know. Maybe he took a vacation to Oaxaca and met with the nieta de Marina Savina, or had some kind of rude awakening, but he's been making different decisions these days. Another incident of police using excessive force took place last week in the U.S. when Rashard Brooks, an Atlanta resident, was shot and killed 40 minutes after being questioned for falling asleep in a Wendy's drive-thru, sparking mass protest, the resignation of the police chief, and burning down the restaurant. Yesterday, the officer that shot Brooks has been charged for murder and will face the death penalty if convicted. Yesterday, our favorite milk-mustached former national security advisor, John Bolton, was back in the news. Excerpts from his new book were released to various news outlets with strong accusations against the president, such as being close to withdraw from NATO, asking, is Finland really part of Russia or not? And most surprisingly, not knowing if these people were futuristic aliens who came to Mexico disguised as waitresses. Donald Trump's poll numbers have taken a huge dip, with strong questions about his leadership during the pandemic and arguments that he incited violence and unrest with his words and Twitter posts during the protests. New electoral maps published this week by various agencies shows trouble for the president, with states that he won in 2016, like Michigan, showing more than a 10-point lead for his opponent, Joe Biden. He's also winning by a small margin, Donald Trump, in states such as Texas and Georgia, states that Democrats haven't won in a really long time. Trump responded to this new poll, Mexico, border wall, Mexico, immigrants, boo. But I really wanted to talk to you about something tonight that has caused tremendous controversy in this city, debated in national governments, talked about all over the world as one of the most pressing issues today, the meaning of the word pinche. Okay, maybe it's not the most pressing issues in the world, but it's pressing in my world. I mean, what does this word really mean? Is it offensive? Can you say it in front of your grandmother in church? The biggest question is, what would be the best direct translation to English? Our correspondent / pinche ambassador, Javier Negrete, went out into Mexico City to ask, what does pinche mean to you? And here's what they said.
Hello, Dan. We're here in Mexico City to know what pinche means. Come with me.
Pinche güey, pinche vida, algo como que me vale madres, pero a la vez me importa. Ah, pinche chingadera, pero ¿cómo la quiero?
Pues para mí pinche significa que está bien chingón.
Pinche como que lo está haciendo más grande, o sea, está guapa, pero mucho, muy guapa. Sí.
Sí, puede llegar a ser ofensivo, pero está tan coloquialmente usado entre el lenguaje de los jóvenes que no sé.
Denota algo de exceso, ¿no? Como algo que en cantidades diría.
That is such a beautiful car, but yeah, depending on how you say it, because you can also say pinche carro as pejorative.
Y a poco como para no ofender, sino es como un ¿qué onda pinche güey? Oh, pinche menso.
Joining us now is linguist, historian, and my Spanish teacher, Alejandro Tapia, with more comments on the real meaning of the word pinche. Thanks for joining us today, Alejandro. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you, Dan. I'm fine. Hello.
Tell me something. I got to ask you, is this a really offensive word? What is the origin of the word pinche?
Well, originally it's a French word, and then it was borrowed by Spanish, and it means a kitchen helper, right? The Mexican use is a derogatory adjective, meaning variously lousy, bad quality, insignificant, mean, and it also serves to express indignation and surprise. How's that?
Well, I mean, a lot of times people are saying that if you say the word pinche, it's a term of love, right? You're close to someone, you say, my pinche Spanish teacher, Alejandro. Is that true?
Well, yeah, I guess as some of the people interviewed said, it can, maybe you don't say it in front of your grandmother or you don't say it in church. But I guess that sometimes it might be a little bit affectionate. It depends on the intonation, you know?
As a noun, it's different than being used as an adjective, right? Pinche gringo is like, I'm a gringo that has very little experience in a kitchen. No?
Yes, of course. Yeah,
great.
That's the kitchen helper.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alejandro, for being here and also for boldly being introduced to a live audience at Eres mi maestro de español. It's kind of like one of those things that if I gain 10 pounds and I just introduced my trainer, right? Like, thanks for joining us today, Alejandro. All right, but seriously, listen to me. And please listen to me, the American who speaks little Spanish but is Latino because your grandmother was born in a small town in Jalisco, to stop giving gringos with absolutely no Spanish except for hasta la vista or quesadilla the wrong translation of the word. And even if it was the F word, even if it is a little insulting to us, don't we deserve it? Didn't we invade Mexico like 150 times? Like, yeah, Wikipedia. I bet you never heard of the pastry war. Haven't we insulted Mexican cuisine with crispy tacos with shredded American cheese, ground beef, and lettuce? Don't we go to beaches and yell loudly because yelling loudly makes people understand our English better? Excuse me, senor, can I have a margarita? Yes, salt. And I'm asking whoever's responsible for creating the automatic translations in web browsers, please use the Real Academia de la Lengua Española dictionary and not your interpretation of a translation. It's making some nervous and offended by everything Americans really, really upset. I mean, I'm so sorry, America. I know this offends like 0.001% of you, but how about spending your time being offended by the percentage of African-American men that are incarcerated or those who hunt and fish endangered species? Because to us, pinche means love. It means that you are close to someone and you give yourself just a little bit of humility so that we can move to a more equal level with our Mexican brothers and sisters. I pinche love you. And hashtag pinche is not a bad word. On Sunday, Mexico City residents deciding not to get out of bed because what's the purpose of getting out of bed on a Sunday during coronavirus? Were startled by BMW and Mercedes car horns to protest the AMLO administration and their fourth transformation. The scene Sunday reminded us of just a regular day of traffic I know we all miss. Gridlock, horn blowing, said one protester, "Mijo, be careful taking that sign out of the sunroof and don't ruin the leather on the seats." In COVID news, the Mexican federal government this week changed the color of 16 states in the streetlight system to orange, meaning the resumption of many more activities. Restaurants were incredibly confused by this change, saying, "Wait a second, orange, yellow, we speed up, and then it becomes red. I don't understand this." However, even though the Mexico City government promised to lift many restrictions next Wednesday, the city is still in a red light situation. To comment on how residents are faring approaching 3 months in this contingency, we go to Pinche Gringo Show correspondent Dan Gottschall with more. Dan, how are things over there?
Horrendous.
Thanks, Dan, for your reaction. And now for our segment, No Manches. Mexico is slated to become a member of the United Nations Security Council for the 5th time in its history, joining India and Ireland for the 2021-22 term. It's a very competitive process that requires 2/3 of the votes of the General Assembly to be in the 10-member council. And Mexico beat out Canada, who had been lobbying for years to get a seat. In your face, Canada, finally beating them in something other than soccer. My first thought about this is that I think it's pretty dangerous for Mexico and Ireland to sit next to each other on the Security Council. I mean, maybe they're going to get into a contest in who can drink the other down the table. And second, what would happen if they had to schedule council meetings on a Sunday? No puedo, tengo una comida con mi mamá cada domingo. No manches. On Tuesday, North Korea blew up a liaison office that has been used with South Korea, used for reconciliation meetings in order to achieve peace after more than 70 years officially at war. This is another recent action in the rising tension between the two countries. Did the North really blow up a building in its own country? That's like getting into a fight with the person you're banging and then blowing up the apartment in retaliation. I'm not talking to you anymore, and now you don't have a place to come to. Quaker Oats announced yesterday that it was retiring popular syrup and pancake brand Aunt Jemima, admitting that it was based on a racial stereotype during the times of slavery. The company did attempt to fix the image in 1989 by adding pearl earrings and a necklace. No manches. Did it really take 130 years to figure this out? And I'm still burning my pancakes. In tonight's close-up, Mexico City is set to reopen on June 24th, almost 3 months after closing down many public areas, including restaurant dining rooms, gyms, churches, and parks. While this date approaches, deaths continue to rise and hospitals saturated. The question here is it too soon? Will there be a rise in deaths, or is it important to open now to save the economy from other collapse? With us today is former Secretary of the Economy under Enrique Peña Nieto, Ildefonso Guajardo. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you're having fun in the show. Secretary, my first question to you is that we had a lot of trouble translating your role and your title. Are you a secretary or a minister? Does it make a difference? Like, what's the difference between the two?
Cabinet member secretaries, but I'm a former secretary. The difference with the U.S. protocol is that once you are a governor, you'll always be called governor or ambassador or secretary. In the case of Mexico, you have to say former secretary. And today, I make my living out of a consulting firm, as everybody that has served in government for a long time. But fortunately, it has been a very successful 2019, not very lucrative 2020. Now I'm giving a lot of conference that I don't charge for it.
Or a maestro, you get to be called maestro for life, but we don't do that in the U.S., right? You're not Master Dan. So I think that they should change that. You should be a secretary for life, right?
It was enough to be for 6 years and have to deal with your president 2 years.
Right, absolutely. So let's get into some things. The New York Times reported last week that about the lack of a stimulus package here in Mexico. The president has gone against what most economists in the world have decided to do to pump money into the economy. And what the New York Times said is that the president had some kind of trauma after the 1995 tequila thing, and that he decided that if he does inject money into the economy, the rich people will get all the money and the poor people will not. Is that a true thing? Does that make sense?
No. I think that this misunderstanding, it comes from the financial issue called FOAPROA, where the banking system had to be rescued, and a lot of borrowers went away without paying their debts in order to save the banking system. This intervention can be done directly to save jobs. You don't have to save businessmen. You have to save jobs, and you have a lot of ways to do it directly. You can compensate to firms for the amount of employment they maintain, or you can do an unemployment insurance for workers that have been contributing to the social security system for the last 4 years, and you can do directly benefit small firms and directly benefit the working class that is directly linked to the manufacturing, to the export of manufacturing, the manufacturing sector. So there are ways to do an intervention that goes directly to save jobs.
Absolutely. It seems like that a lot of people are suffering and there's not a lot of money getting into the regular people, and there's going to be a lot of unemployment. Do you feel like there could be a collapse in this economy in the next couple of years because of this?
There are immediate consequences that we are already confronting. You hear the statistics of INEGI, where there is an estimate of 10 million jobs lost in the formal and the informal economy, and that has direct impact on the everyday living of every Mexican family. Now, that's exactly why you have to open the economy, but you have to open the economy trying to follow very specific criteria to contain the transmission of the virus. You have very good examples at the international level. You have the difference of the evolution of the virus in Tokyo vis-a-vis New York City. There are different magnitudes of population. The fact that Japanese have for a long time used, obviously, the cubrebocas, and that they have definitely different habits in terms of showing friendship and emotions, it has helped Tokyo to have a very slow evolution or increase in the pandemic vis-a-vis what happened in New York City and New York State. So if we had had use over time, mostly in trying to teach people how to coexist with COVID in a safe environmental labor area, and how to conduct your social life and family life, giving them the elements that are required with enough transportation system to avoid crowding, in order to facilitate cleaning elements like even basic water in some areas of the city, it will have a much more deeper impact. Today, most Mexican families cannot afford the lock-in in the way it has been instrumented for the last 2.5 or 3 months.
Right. But do you think that's possible? As we know that there's an incredible distrust of the government, a distrust of the media, and the president seems...
Are you talking about your country or my country?
No, I'm talking about all over, right? But I think specifically that people aren't really believing that this is really big until you see it. And what seems like it's been happening, that if your leadership doesn't really make an urgency on this, then it's hard to get people to believe that. Is that happening here? And do you think that this is something that can be overcome, or do we take on this no pasa nada approach continuously until we have herd mentality, and that we know that we can be, immune to it with a number of people getting it?
Well, Dan, you live in Mexico City, and you have the first evidence that when death strikes around you, you learn the lessons. There are areas in Mexico City that has been blown out by this pandemic. Ixtapalapa, some areas in the city. Has it happened in your country? This virus really has a very deep effect in sectors of society that are highly vulnerable. And so there are many areas in Mexico City where people are witnessing what is happening around them. It is not as easy as at the beginning saying that nothing happens. Today, people are are really going through the experience of losing loved ones and going through the experience of being hospitalized, and therefore there is an impact in their behavior. But we have to keep that experience in other areas of Mexico that the virus has not really make a tremendous impact, like some rural areas, some other cities in the country, where this has not spread as deeply. But we have to start teaching people how to cope with this challenge and how to learn how to coexist with coronavirus.
Okay. We're running out of time. I'd love to spend more time with you. I have one more question. You're running for the governorship of Nuevo León. You're very lauded by, and people have very high opinions of you from the last administration, but your party doesn't have as much excitement. How do you overcome that and win the governorship?
Well, first of all, we are not still yet at the time of running for election. The electoral law is very specific, but yes, I have made it very clearly, publicly, that I'm trying to get the nomination of my party to contend in that election. Now, society has a very, very, very critical view of the party system in Mexico. I think in general, we have not met the expectations of people, and therefore there is a sentiment that is asking from us a deep change in how to be sensible to what we need in Mexico. Now, through this crisis, this feeling is even deeper, and the challenges we're going to have are much bigger. And I think that what it requires is a new view at politics, new commitments. And I think that just like in your country, I think is going to learn the value of expertise and how to face things in a serious perspective. Improvisation, demagoguery, or traditional populist politics will not longer be the solution to what people need. And I hope that politics is going to take a new level, and actors are going to be scrutinized about their own records and their own personal experience. And therefore, I think that now we are going to be looking more into candidates, into parties.
Okay, former secretary, thank you so much for being on the show. We really enjoyed having you here, and good luck.
Thank you, and congratulations for your program. It's quite a nice mix, reporting from Mexico City to an audience that is learning about things in Mexico. Congratulations, it's a good show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate having you. Okay, that's former Secretary Ildefonso Guajardo with us. Now we go to the illustrious and wonderful Lila Garcia Mora, who is going to tell us about what is going on in the world of Pinche Gringo. Lila, how are you doing today?
I'm amazing, and as every week, I'm really happy to be with you guys.
It's great. Lila, you are live from Querétaro, no?
Yes, correct.
So Father's Day is coming around the corner. It's pretty funny because a couple of days ago, the government of Mexico City announced that they were trying to change Father's Day to another time. I don't know if that's possible, right?
Well, at least they're trying, but we decided that we're going to make two celebrations for the dads. And the first one is this Sunday, so we're ready.
I think people can stay at home and stay quarantined and stay safe and still enjoy the amazing food of Pinche Gringo, no?
Yes, of course. And we've been working for this almost 4 months to make it easier for our customers to order from their houses. So we have a WhatsApp, we have our phone, we have our webpage, we have Uber Eats, we have Rappi, we have Didi Foods. Like, we are really available.
Okay, and so there is a special, right, that is coming out that we talked about on last week's show, the Jack Daniels ribs.
Yes, we have barbecue ribs, like the regular ribs that we have, but these ones are glazed with barbecue sauce with Jack Daniels. They're amazing. We're going to have them available through Friday through Sunday, and I recommend that you make your pre-order because we're having a lot of demand with this product. So you can make your pre-order right now in WhatsApp or our webpage, and be sure to celebrate your father as he deserves.
That's great. Also, they were talking about opening the restaurants on the 15th. That's been delayed to the 24th. If I'm somebody, I mean, I haven't left my apartment except to go to a couple times to work and one other place in 3 months. Would it be safe for me to go eat at the restaurant next week?
Yes. If things stay like they are as right now, that we are in the orange light, we're opening our doors on June 24th, and we are like being super careful. We are like taking this really serious, so that if we open our doors, we're sure that our customers and our employees are going to be super safe. So we have different measures. We have a video. If we have time, we'll show it here at the show. If not, you can go to our social media, and there you and Roberto explain perfectly all the measures that we are taking, but it takes like sanitization of the tables every other customer, and we have all the protection for our staff, and we are monitoring the health of our employees and our providers even, and we're going to be like measuring temperature of our clients where they enter the restaurant. We're doing a lot of things so that we're sure that we are offering a safe space for customers.
Perfect. Tell us more about this Barbecue for Heroes campaign. I know this campaign's been going on for 7 or 8 weeks, bringing sandwiches to medical professionals that need it. Tell us more.
Yes. And we have great numbers so far, but like our medical professionals need more help. So far we have been running this program for 7 weeks, and we have delivered 453 sandwiches. From these ones, our customers have purchased 323, and the rest are 129 are from Pinche Gringo, the donation from us. But this is not over, so the war against COVID is not finished, and our staff still need us. So you can also go to our webpage. There's a section that says donate now, and you can purchase 1 sandwich, 2 sandwiches, whatever you want, so you can help our medical professionals.
Absolutely. I went to the hospital on Wednesday. We go every Wednesday to deliver the sandwiches, and just on there, the volunteers come out and pick up the sandwiches outside the door, and just seeing their faces, they're saying that there's no hospital beds, that it's a really dire situation that has gotten worse every week that we've come, and it's not getting better. So definitely, if anybody can spare a sandwich, 155 pesos, right? Or $6 if you're in the US, you can buy it from all over the world.
Yes.
On our website too. Lila, last thing, tell us about some stuff that are happening digitally at the restaurant.
Of course, we have a yoga session on Saturday morning, so you eat barbecue and then you stay healthy. And on Saturday night at 8 p.m. we have our comedy fix, and on Sunday at 8 p.m. we have a trivia night. So if you're bored at home, you can connect and have a lot of trivia night.
Okay. That's great. Trivia night. It's so much fun. It's a bunch of people that get to meet each other. You get groups, and then you go to your room and you answer really great trivia questions. So if anybody's around, stick around Sunday night for that. Lila, it's always a pleasure having you here.
Always a pleasure being here, Dan. Thank you very much. You look really handsome, by the way.
Oh, shucks. You're embarrassing me on TV, Lila. All right. Well, that's our show for tonight. Stay with us to learn about the safety measures PG is putting in place right after the credits that we're opening on June 24th. And please stay tuned on July 4th for our special edition of the Pinche Gringo Show, where we will be live in the restaurant with our 7th annual brisket eating contest, of course, with sana distancia to make sure everybody's safe. See you all next week, guys. Be safe. Same time, same place, same Pinche channel. Have a great night.
Pinche Gringo, Mexico is laughing thanks to you. We like to watch you dance salsa and listen to your bad Spanish too. We like to watch you almost die from spicy food.
Hola barbecue lovers, en nombre de toda la familia de Pinche Gringo Barbecue, queremos recordarles que los extrañamos y esperamos pronto tenerlos de regreso para disfrutar juntos de sabor, la experiencia y las historias en Pinche Gringo Barbecue.
Entraremos en una nueva etapa, y más que una nueva normalidad, es un mundo nuevo que nos invita a volver en una mejor versión de nosotros.
Pinche Gringo Barbecue siempre ha sido sinónimo de experiencia y calidad, por eso nuestra prioridad es cuidar de ti para que tu único enfoque sea el vivir experiencias inolvidables.
Es por eso que hemos estado trabajando en incrementar nuestros procesos de sanitización y protocolos de desinfección, manteniendo tu seguridad y la de nuestros colaboradores. Esto alineado a recomendaciones de la Organización Mundial de la Salud, Canirac, autoridades y organismos locales.
Nuestros restaurantes están siendo rediseñados para que las mesas tengan un distanciamiento seguro entre cada uno de nuestros clientes. En nuestra ubicación de warehouse en Alto Polanco, tenemos una ventaja increíble, con más de 3.500 metros cuadrados de espacio en diferentes partes del edificio. Podrás comer en nuestro salón principal, balcón, salón privado o en nuestra terraza al aire libre, tan lejos como desees de otros clientes.
Estamos en el proceso de renovar la ubicación de nuestra sucursal de patio en la colonia Narvarte, cambiando el estacionamiento a un punto distinto y así construir una nueva área, aumentando el espacio y la capacidad del restaurante.
Encontrarás un sistema codificado por calores para garantizar que, después de cada uso, la mesa se desinfecte por completo con una solución de alta calidad, lo que garantizará que esté descontaminada y lista para usarse.
Continuaremos los procedimientos sanitarios para nuestro equipo. Antes de su turno deben pasar por un examen riguroso que incluye tomar su temperatura, un cuestionario diario sobre su estado de salud y un proceso de desinfección del uniforme de trabajo. Continuarán protegidos con máscaras y guantes estándar de la industria de alto grado. Practicarán el lavado riguroso de manos y constante limpieza de las superficies de trabajo.
Todos los clientes tendrán que ingresar con la protección facial adecuada y se tomará la temperatura corporal al ingreso de nuestro edificio. Los clientes podrán quitarse la protección facial cuando estén sentados adecuadamente y listos para comenzar su comida.
Eliminaremos el uso de dispositivos comunales como nuestros dispensadores de salsa. Distribuiremos cubiertos nosotros mismos y suspenderemos temporalmente el uso de nuestra fuente de soda. La buena noticia es que continuaremos usando nuestros utensilios de cocina desechables biodegradables, lo que significa que la mayoría de los artículos serán de un solo uso.
Implementaremos un nuevo sistema de pago contactless con la nueva tecnología en la que únicamente tendrás que aproximar tu teléfono celular a la terminal sin la necesidad de tener ningún contacto con el cajero o algún dispositivo. Si aún no está listo para regresar, podrás seguir llevando toda la experiencia de barbecue desde nuestro sitio web www.pgbbq.mx o por WhatsApp al 55 11 92 96 69 o en cualquiera de las plataformas como Uber Eats, Rappi y Didi Food para hacer tu pedido y continuar disfrutando de la experiencia Pinche Gringo Barbecue desde tu propia casa.
Muchas gracias.
Y nuevamente, en nombre de toda la familia de Pinche Gringo, esperamos verte pronto.